Hi everyone, in this video today I want to share with you the exact blueprint that you can follow as a beginner to kickstart your career in high ticket sales in 2025 and actually earn six figures. The industry is ever changing, evolving, and I want to share a very up-to-date version of what you need to do. I work in sales myself right now. It's not something I've done in the past, it's not something I used to do. I am in sales as we speak, closing deals on a daily basis. So I think it'd be really valuable if you're a beginner to have a blueprint mapped out of what's worked and what's worked for me, right? I took my career from 0 to six figures in 12 months. And I am so confident that if you follow this blueprint, you can do the exact same thing, but if you follow the blueprint. The most important part of this video, in my opinion, is to know that you can't pick and choose certain areas of this blueprint and expect to get the end result. If you're anything like me, I'm terrible at following recipes. I always make things up as I go along, or a workout routine, I'll kind of add my own things into it. But in reality, this blueprint I followed so concisely, and it's pretty much the only blueprint that I've ever followed to an absolute T, and it's given me a pretty good result. So I hope you enjoy the video and let's get into it. If you're new to high ticket sales, I think it will be useful to briefly cover what is high ticket sales before we actually get into the blueprint itself. So high ticket sales is essentially an industry. It's typically usually online, selling in the health, wealth and relationship kind of industries, coaching programs, business opportunities, courses, to help people better their lives, help solve a problem within someone's life. As a salesperson, no matter what your role is, setter, closer, anything in between, your end goal is to close the deal. So from the very beginning of taking a person with a problem all the way through the sales funnel to finally closing the deal. And different roles have different parts to play in this process. But essentially, that is the industry itself in a nutshell. My first step to the blueprint isn't necessarily sales related, but genuinely, in my opinion, is so important to your whole mindset and career as a whole within sales. And that is make a very clear list of your goals. And I know this can sound super cliche and super boring. You just want to get onto the kind of the juicy details, but in reality, this is so important. Make a list of your goals. Make sure they are very specific and ambitious. There's no point saying, I just want to make money and have remote freedom. That is not a very specific goal that is attainable. That is like a bigger picture goal. You need to be ambitious and you need to be specific with what you want, but also you need to write a list and be specific with what you're prepared to sacrifice. You need to get very clear on what it is that you are going to be prepared to give up or to sacrifice for a certain amount of time to get you to this goal. You've got to understand how important is this end result for you, whatever it is, whatever your goal, making a certain amount of money per month, having remote freedom, all of these things, they're fantastic, but they're always going to come with sacrifices. So it's understanding what is that for you. Once you have done that, don't waste too much time doing it. We want to move with speed because we actually want to get to the action taking phase. But once you have done that, I want you to visualize it, know what you want, and then put that list in a drawer or shut the book and set it aside. We now want to detach from that. We don't want to hang on to that. We don't want to be staring at those goals every single day. In my opinion anyway, everyone will say different, but this is what works for me and has been absolutely foolproof for me. You want to put it out there, you want to request, you want to make the order, and then you want to detach. And you want to just focus from there on out on the inputs that you now need to do to get to that goal. The detachment will come with time. It's taken me a while to be in a place now where I completely can detach from my goals, but this is like the secret to why people see success and why people see success with speed, in my opinion. Step 2 is you need to invest in yourself and in your skill set within sales. The most common theme I see in this industry is people trying to find a loophole for this. And the harsh reality is there is no loophole in investing in your skill set. The most successful people I've seen, and well, to be honest, every single person who I have met within the sales space have invested in sales training. I don't think there's one person I've ever come across in sales that do well in sales that haven't invested in their sales training. It is a crucial part of this, because in reality, if you are going to be selling high ticket, if you want to get comfortable with selling people expensive things, then in reality, the sales training that you buy is probably going to be somewhat high ticket as well. And you've got to get comfortable and be congruent with that, essentially. Now, I'm not saying you have to go and pay 10K for sales training. I mean, you can, and there are people out there who charge that, but you don't have to do that. What I am saying is you need to invest in your skill set, and free courses or online YouTube videos is really not going to do it. If you think about a doctor, would you rather see a doctor who had been self-taught or who had gone to medical school? Now, it can be controversial to compare the sales roles to a doctor, but what I am saying is you'd want to see an expert. That expert would give you peace of mind. That expert would know exactly the cure that you need to solve your problem. And it's exactly the same within sales. Because in reality, sales is no joke. You are speaking to people who are maybe in a vulnerable position. They have families, they have mortgages, they have health problems or relationship problems, and they really need help solving it. Would they rather go to someone who's clueless, or would they rather go to an expert? The expert, obviously. So what I would suggest is, if you don't have the money and if you don't have the savings, is I would get very clear on what you're prepared to do in order to change that, right? If you want this more than you can breathe, you will 100% find a way. I know people who have got second jobs at like coffee shops in the evenings, or sold the car, or got out a loan to start their sales career. Now, I'm not giving financial advice by any means, and of course, if you are someone with a family and a mortgage and large responsibilities, then I would really second guess even entering this industry. But what I am saying is, for the majority of you, if you're young, and if really your only responsibility is yourself, then if you want it as much as you say you want it, there's truly no excuse, and you will be able to find a way, just like so many other people have, and like I did as well, to be honest. A mentor will really be able to carve the path for you to set you up for success going forward. The next part of the blueprint is finding the right opportunity. Now, the industry is changing within 2025. So much has changed even since I have been in the space. The space is quite noisy at the moment, but I would say the competition is quite low. And for certain type of people, there is a lot of opportunity, but you've got to know how. So in general, to find offers, really the best places you want to go are social media platforms such as LinkedIn or Facebook, recruiters, and leveraging your network. And I've spoken so much about network in previous videos, so I really don't want this one to be like a broken record, but you can go back and watch my previous videos about building your network. But in general, they're where you're going to find your offers. As I said, with the industry changing, it's just not as straightforward as outreaching business owners these days and hoping they're going to give you a job. 9 times out of 10, these business owners aren't even answering their own DMs. They have DM setters doing so. So you probably aren't speaking to a business owner if you are doing that method of outreach. You need to be creative in how you're going to put yourself in front of these people. How you can be noticed as that sales pro and as that expert level, right? And that's exactly what I have done and what I also teach. I think it's very important to be seen as that like sales pro, to hold yourself in that high regard, and obviously to have the skill set and the results to back it up. The next thing you need to do is you need to learn how to interview. Again, I have covered this briefly in other videos, but in a nutshell, you need to get very, very good and very confident at how you're going to conduct yourself. Because believe it or not, you being a beginner in this space is not going to set you back as much as you think it is, but how you conduct yourself is. And if you think about the most asked interview question, probably in the history of interviews, that is, tell me about yourself. And if you don't know how to ace that question, then we have a problem. So get very confident and comfortable with communication, answering questions, memorizing them in your mind like a sales process. Really, your interview is going to be your first ever sales call. It's time to sell yourself and who you are and why you will be an asset to this team. Because remember, you are an asset. You're not just a number. Sales reps are the ones who collect the cash. Business owners need you. You are like the prize. Without you, the business cannot make money. There's no business at all. So remember that. Obviously, leave your ego at the door. We don't want to get carried away. We want to be humble. But remember that you are very much needed. Your skill set is needed. You as a person are a valuable asset to a company. So you want to show that and you want to display that. Also, this can come across shallow, but the way you present yourself physically is very important. And I don't really hear anyone speaking about this, maybe because people don't want to offend anyone, I don't know. But the most successful sales reps I've seen are very presentable. I'm not saying you have to go over the top. What I'm saying is you've got to look presentable and you've got to have a presentable background. We all know that we judge people within like the first 2 or 3 seconds from meeting someone. So make sure that when that person or the interviewer judges you, it's a positive response. Because how you present yourself, your body language, your physical appearance of if you've actually made an effort, your background, if you've made your bed in the background, how you present yourself says a lot about who you are as a person. Are you a disciplined, motivated person, or are you super lazy and low effort? And they will take that first impression and make a decision if you're an option or if you're completely just like disregarded from the get-go. The next thing is you are going to land your offer and you are going to outwork every single person on the team. This is the important part. Don't get it twisted. The work doesn't stop once you've landed. The hard work doesn't stop once you've landed an offer. You've got to prove yourself. And this is what sets people apart from the crowd. If you can actually put your money where your mouth is, basically. And this is what I've done in every single offer. Every offer I've been on, I've outworked everyone. I've climbed the top of the leaderboard. I've collected the most cash. I've had the highest closing percentage or like setting rate. I have done whatever it takes. Like, I'm not kidding when I say you have to do whatever it takes, because that's what I have done. And that's what I still do in my role now to this day. You have to get very clear on your point one, which is your goals. And you have to prove yourself once you're on the offer, because this industry is so volatile and you will be replaced. There is no room for average. You have got to work exceptionally hard, but it's for a purpose. And yes, it's a slog. And of course, like, your first few months in sales are going to be a lot of input, probably for not much reward. But this is kind of like the rite of passage for the best sales reps, in my opinion, because if you can do this for like 6 months-ish, trust me when I say there are going to be so many opportunities waiting for you on the other side. Like, every single person I have come across within the industry who have done this and who have genuinely worked so hard, grinding away on offers that aren't paying them very well or opportunities that aren't the best, they have been given better opportunities on the other side. Like I said, it's a rite of passage. You've got to do the hard graft first, and trust me, things will get so much easier. And if you can do this for 6 months, like, believe it or not, you'll be making 8 to 10K per month. And I know that sounds crazy right now thinking about it, but it's actually not that hard. it truly is not that hard to make like 8 to 10K per month in this industry with this blueprint that I'm telling you. Like, you have to follow the steps, but if you can, you'll pretty much be there in no time. The final part of this blueprint really is offer over skill set. From moving on from the previous point where you're going to be, doing the work, putting in the hours, pretty much grinding away to prove yourself and to work your way up, there will come a time where everything clicks. And it may not feel this way now, but trust me, every single sales rep gets to this point where it all just starts to fall into place. You will start naturally closing more deals. You will start naturally making more money. You will start naturally building your network. You'll be much more confident. You'll have better communication skills. You'll start becoming the person that you wrote about, 6 months ago. And this is where you can start becoming more picky. This is where you're more of a hot commodity in the industry and more offers want you. This is where more opportunities are going to start coming to you. You won't now have to start doing the outreach. You won't now have to start introducing yourself. People will be introducing themselves to you. And this is the most important part, because this is where the magic happens. This is where the 15, the 20, the 25K months start happening. And I know this can sound like a million miles away to you right now, and I don't want you to get too far ahead and get carried away thinking about this, but I really wanted to finish on this point because there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You don't have to be selling your soul for years and years and years to get to this point. If you follow this blueprint, like, trust me when I say, if you follow this blueprint in this order and you keep on pushing and you show up day in, day out, it will click for you. Just like it clicked for me a few months ago when I was able to find the current opportunity that I'm on, and now I'm making between around 20 to 30K every single month, because I have earned it, really. And I know that can sound maybe a bit arrogant, but I have, and I've worked for it, and now I can confidently deliver results, and you will be able to do that too. That's the end. That is my blueprint. I know that this will be helpful for you if you're a beginner in the space. I think you don't want to overcomplicate it. You want to make things as simple as possible, and that is always what I try to do, because in reality it is simple. It's a simple framework to follow. It's not easy, but it's simple, is what I always say. I will leave my Instagram in the caption in case you want to reach out to me and ask me any questions. I'm also going to leave a link, so if you do want to book a call with me and discuss working with me within 2025 to help you hit your sales goals, right, and embark on this journey, then absolutely get in touch, and I'm more than happy to have a conversation. Bye guys.